I lost my voice and I moved back to the old house I first made videos in, which is pretty cool. Anyway, Overwatch 2 is making some weird changes in the sense that they aren't buffing or nerfing any character after post-launch at the moment, which is what this whole update is basically about. And it's strange considering some characters are broken right now. Like some characters are ridiculous. Other characters feel kind of useless. For instance, Doomfist does not feel very useful in rank. If you pick Doomfist, it destroys the team's morale because like, what the heck are you doing? And on the opposite side, if you don't pick D.Va or Zarya as tank, people question what you're doing. Why are you throwing their game? Are you playing Orisa, who's also a good tank, but just not as good as D.Va and Zarya? You're throwing the game. Like, it's not healthy for the game to have that be the mentality currently because those two characters, D.Va and Zarya, are very strong right now. DPS-wise, Sojourn is ridiculous. Like, ridiculous. And then you have Sombra, who's annoying and a little broken in the sense of what she does. She just ruins the game for a lot of folks. So it's just weird that no one is getting adjusted in that sense. No buffs, no nerfs. However, they are nerfing Zarya in Total Mayhem. That is the only balance change they're making, and it's just weird. And after every single section they talked about tanks and DPS and all that stuff, they just kept saying, we'll keep monitoring the situation, which is good, but it's like, what do you need to monitor? Like, just go watch any Grandmaster game and you'll see like how many people are playing Zarya and D.Va in their matches. It's ridiculous right now. It's insane. And Sojourn for that matter. If I'm playing ranked right now, I see so many Sojourns, it would blow your socks off. And the reason they're not nerfing anything is because all heroes are in line with their 45 to 55% win rate quota they're trying to meet. They're balancing the game right now based off of stats. But stats don't tell the real picture. When you base dev decisions on stats, you have to know what else is affecting those stats. For instance, maybe the fact they're placing Grandmaster players in Bronze 5 is somehow negatively or positively affecting the stats. I feel like that would actually make some difference, right? Having people who do not belong in Bronze 5 being on teams with actual Bronze 5 players would skew the stats in some way or fashion. And that's just one aspect of it. Not to mention also having it to where you'd have days where people, or not days, but you'd have times in the game where folks could not play the characters they want to play. You'd have times where games would just end. Like, are those not being accounted for? Do those not affect stats at all? I feel like they would. I'm not sure how you'd be like, okay, don't count games that don't go on for X long. Don't count games that have folks locked into the characters and they can only play these characters. Like, what's going on? It's just weird. And not to mention, maybe you just have really good players that are just one-tricking these characters that no one else is playing. So you have the win rate, but what's the pick rate look like? You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. Overall, that's like the main thing in the whole article I cared about. And they did talk about how the comp thing was broken AF at the bottom here. And they said like it was a bug or bad and they fixed that. But aside from that, that's the main thing I cared about, was just seeing that they weren't going to be nerfing or buffing heroes. And I'm like, what the freak, dude? I just want to give my thoughts because I find it fascinating. They didn't change stuff. And I apologize for my voice being terrible. I'm sick. My nephew coughs and does not cover his mouth. He's a demon. Anyway, y'all have a good night or day. I'll catch you later. Peace.